When life breaks you, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes life doesn't just test us. It breaks us. It hits us in ways we never expected, through loss, failure, rejection, or deep disappointment. In those moments, we feel alone, helpless, and lost. But let me tell you something important. Being broken is not the end. It's the beginning of becoming stronger. Every broken person carries a hidden strength, a silent story of rising again. The cracks in our hearts and dreams are not signs of weakness. They are proof that we tried, that we lived, and that we're still here. Life breaking you is painful, but in that pain you will discover something powerful, your true self. You'll find the strength to stand up, even if you're shaking. You'll find courage in your tears and hope in your darkest night. So don't be ashamed of your struggles. Don't hide your scars. Wear them with pride. They show that you fought battles no one else could see. And most importantly, remember, it's okay to break, as long as you don't give up. When life breaks you, rebuild yourself, not into who you were, but into someone even better. Because broken things can still shine, and so can you. Life can break you through pain, loss, or failure. This is a truth many of us face at some point, often when we least expect it. One moment, everything may seem to be going well. Your relationships are stable, your career is moving forward, and your dreams feel within reach. Then suddenly, life takes a turn. A loved one passes away. You lose your job. You fail at something you gave your heart to. A betrayal wounds you deeply. And in that instant, your whole world changes. The ground beneath your feet feels like it's shaking, and you find yourself broken, emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. The pain you feel is not just sadness. It's a deep, aching emptiness, a silence that screams within you. You question your worth, your strength, and even your future. You ask, why me? Or what did I do to deserve this? These questions haunt your thoughts, and sometimes no answer seems enough. You lie awake at night with tears on your pillow, pretending to be strong during the day because you don't want others to see your weakness. But inside, you are struggling to breathe under the weight of your own thoughts and memories. And yet this pain, this breaking, is something that almost every strong person you've ever admired has gone through. Life doesn't break us to destroy us. Sometimes it breaks us to wake us up, to slow us down, to force us to reflect, relearn, and rebuild. But before any of that happens, we must first understand that it's okay to feel pain. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel lost. These emotions are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you are human. A heart that has never been broken, has never truly loved or lived. Loss is one of life's cruelest teachers. Whether it is the death of someone you love, the end of a relationship, or losing something you worked so hard for, it leaves a void that words cannot fill. The silence left behind becomes a constant reminder of what once was. You may try to stay busy, distract yourself, or put on a brave face, but inside you know that part of you is missing. And in that space of pain, you start to question everything. Your choices, your identity, even your purpose. Failure, too, is a powerful way life breaks us. Failing in school, in a job, in a business, or even in a personal goal can feel like a personal defeat. Society tells us to succeed, to win, to keep climbing. So when we fall, it's easy to feel like we don't belong anymore, like we're not good enough. But here's what most people don't say. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of it. Every person who has done something great has failed before. It's just that they didn't stop there. They used their failure as fuel. But before that fuel lights a new fire, it burns, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. And in this pain, we may feel like giving up. That's normal. When life breaks you, it breaks your rhythm. It shatters your comfort zone. It forces you to face your fears, your insecurities, and your deepest wounds. It brings you face to face with your limits. But it's in these raw, broken moments that something beautiful can begin. Because when everything falls apart, you start to see what really matters. You stop chasing things that don't serve you. You become more aware, more grounded. You realize who truly cares and who is just passing time with you. Pain, loss, and failure aren't things we choose, but they are powerful teachers. They force us to pause, reflect, and change. They teach us resilience, the ability to get back up when everything inside us says stay down. They help us grow in compassion, humility, and understanding. Most of all, they remind us that life is fragile and every moment matters. The hardest seasons of your life may break you, but they also shape you. And while being broken feels like the end, sometimes it's only the beginning. Being broken is not the end. It's a sign you tried. In a world that often celebrates only success, achievements, and flawless appearances, we tend to forget that real life is full of challenges, setbacks, and struggles. When something breaks inside us, whether it's our spirit, our confidence, or our heart, it usually means we took a chance. We took a chance. We invested our energy, time, and emotions into something or someone. We gave our best even when the result didn't go our way, and that alone is something powerful. It means we were brave enough to try. Trying takes courage. It takes hope. It takes the belief that something good can happen. When you give your all to a dream, a relationship, a career, or even a personal goal, you are exposing your heart. You are stepping into the unknown without any guarantee of success. So when you fail or when life knocks you down, it may feel like you're broken, but that brokenness is actually proof that you were not afraid to care, to act, to risk. It's a quiet but bold message that you had faith in something. Think of how many people never try because they fear failure. They stay in their comfort zones, avoid taking chances, and live safely, but also silently. They may not break, but they also don't grow. You, on the other hand, stood up and said, I'm going to go for it. That's where the difference lies. That's what separates someone who lives fully from someone who merely exists. The pain you feel after being broken is not failure, it's experience. And experience is what shapes us into stronger, wiser, and more understanding people. Being broken shows that you are alive, that you have dreams, and that you were willing to fight for something meaningful. Maybe it was a relationship that didn't last, or a job opportunity that didn't work out, or a goal that slipped away. You may feel disappointed, even embarrassed, but none of those things mean you are weak. On the contrary, they show that you are emotionally awake, that you have the heart to keep moving forward even when things don't go as planned. Society often looks at broken people as damaged or less than. But that's a narrow view. Some of the strongest and kindest souls have been through deep pain. They've had moments where they questioned everything, cried behind closed doors, and felt invisible. Yet, they kept showing up. They kept loving even when they were hurt. They kept building even when things kept falling apart. That resilience is not something that comes from ease. It comes from being broken and still choosing to try again. Think of a piece of pottery that has cracked. In Japanese culture, there is a practice called kintsugi, where the broken pottery is repaired with gold. The cracks are not hidden, they are highlighted. The object becomes more valuable because of its history, not in spite of it. Just like that, the cracks in your life, the moments you broke, are a part of your story. They don't make you less, they make you real. We often tell ourselves that we'll feel better once we succeed or once everything is perfect. But healing doesn't come from perfection. It comes from accepting our journey, even the painful parts. The fact that you were broken means you've walked through fire. You've taken risks. Fire. You've taken risks. You've loved deeply. You've dared to dream. And all of that matters more than you think. So when life breaks you, instead of only seeing the damage, try to see the courage it took to get there. The journey behind that breaking is proof that you are not someone who gave up before trying. You are someone who showed up, who gave their best, who risked their peace in pursuit of purpose, connection, or growth. That is not weakness. That is strength in its most human form. Your struggles reveal your hidden strength and true self. It's often said that you don't truly know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. Struggles have a strange way of introducing you to the parts of yourself you never knew existed. When everything in life is going smoothly, it's easy to believe that we've got everything under control. But the truth is, ease doesn't shape us. Hardship does. It is in the hardest, darkest moments that your true character is tested and revealed. When you're going through a difficult time, whether it's heartbreak, failure, rejection, or deep loss, you might feel like the world is closing in on you. You feel drained, confused, and even hopeless. These are the moments where many people think they are falling apart, but in reality, they are being rebuilt from the inside out. The strength they've never used, the patience they've never practiced, the resilience they've never discovered, it all begins to surface. And though the process hurts, it also awakens you. The truth is, comfort hides potential. You never really understand how brave you are until fear is in front of you. You never know how much you can endure until life tests your limits. Think about it. When you go through something painful and come out on the other side, you don't just survive, you evolve. You grow tougher, wiser, and more compassionate. You gain clarity on what really matters. The fake things in your life fall away, and what remains is your most authentic self. Raw, honest, and real. Struggles strip away the layers we wear to protect ourselves from the world. They take off the masks we wear to appear fine, to stay liked, or to avoid judgment. When life breaks you down, you stop pretending. You face your insecurities head on. You begin to understand your triggers, your fears, and your emotional wounds. This self-awareness, though painful, is the beginning of real growth. You no longer live to impress others. You start living in alignment with your true values because the struggle has taught you what those values are. There's also something deeply humbling about going through hard times. It teaches you empathy. You begin to see others differently, not just through their smiles, but through the pain they may be hiding. You realize that everyone is carrying something. You become more patient, less judgmental. Your kindness becomes deeper, not because you've read it in a book, but because you felt the weight of sorrow yourself. That kind of emotional intelligence is priceless, and it's born in struggle. Often, we look at successful people, and admire their confidence and courage. But what we don't see are the countless nights they cried, the failures they endured, the moments they doubted themselves. Their strength wasn't something they were born with. It was something life forced them to discover. The same applies to you. Every time you go through a storm, you come out stronger, not always louder, not always happier, but definitely stronger, wiser, and more aware. It's in the silent moments, when you're sitting alone, questioning everything, that you begin to hear your inner voice. That voice, though quiet at first, grows louder with each struggle. It reminds you that no matter how broken you feel, there's still a part of you that wants to keep going. That voice is your true self, untouched by the chaos around you. And the more you listen to it, the more you learn to trust it. So while struggles may break parts of you, they also uncover the parts that are unbreakable. The strength, courage, resilience, and depth that you carry within. All of it comes to light in your hardest moments. Struggles are not just challenges to overcome. They are mirrors showing you who you really are when everything else is taken away. Scars are proof of your battles. Wear them with pride. In a world obsessed with perfection, beauty, and flawlessness, we're often taught to hide our pain, our past, and our imperfections. But in reality, every scar, whether visible on the skin or invisible on the heart, carries a story of survival, of struggle, of strength. These marks, emotional or physical, are not signs of weakness or failure. They are signs that you fought through something difficult and came out alive. They are your life's way of saying, you made it. Every person walking this earth has scars. Some wear them on their bodies, others carry them deep within. These scars come from heartbreaks, betrayals, disappointments, losses, failures, and painful life lessons. Some are the result of giving too much love, trusting the wrong people, or holding on to dreams that didn't come true. And while we often try to hide these scars, covering them with silence, smiles, or fake confidence, the truth is they are powerful reminders of how much we've endured. There's nothing shameful about being hurt. What matters most is not that you were broken, but that you healed. Not perfectly. Not immediately, but slowly, painfully, and courageously. The scar that remains is the medal you earned for walking through the fire and not giving up. It shows that even though the world tried to break you, it failed. Because here you are, still standing, still breathing, still trying. Think of people you admire deeply, people known for their wisdom, kindness, or resilience. Most of them have gone through personal storms. It is those experiences that shaped their character. It's the pain they went through that taught them empathy. It's the scars they carry that gave them the wisdom to understand and help others. Their strength was not born from comfort, but from pain. Their compassion was not learned in books, but in moments when they were broken themselves. In many cultures and philosophies, scars are seen as marks of honor. Warriors used to proudly show their wounds as proof of their bravery. In Japanese art, there is a practice called kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold. Instead of hiding the cracks, the gold highlights them, making the object more beautiful and unique than before. That is exactly how our emotional scars work. They are the gold in our story, the unique details that show we have survived, grown, and healed in our own way. Many times people will try to make you feel small for your scars. They may not understand your journey, your pain, or the battles you've faced, but that's okay. Your scars are not for their approval. They are reminders for you, reminders that you didn't quit, reminders that you kept going even when everything inside you said, stop. They remind you that you have depth, you have history, and you have resilience that no one can take away from you. Sometimes when we look at our scars, we feel regret or sadness. We think of the pain that caused them, the people who hurt us, or the time we lost. But over time, those feelings can transform. You begin to see your scars not just as symbols of pain, but as signs of growth. That pain led you to lessons. That failure led you to better choices. That heartbreak led you to deeper self-love. In this way, your scars become not the end of your story, but the turning point. You don't have to explain your scars to everyone. You don't have to justify your past or hide your healing. What you've been through has shaped you into who you are today. Someone wiser, stronger, and more capable of facing life. Your scars are a part of your identity, and they carry the beauty of your journey. Every line, every crack, every mark is a sign that you fought a hard battle and survived. It's okay to fall. Just never give up. Life is not a straight path. And no matter how careful or hardworking you are, there will be times when you stumble. You will fall emotionally, mentally, spiritually, sometimes all at once. You will experience days where your confidence is shattered, where nothing makes sense, where your efforts seem wasted. In those moments, you may feel like quitting is the only option. But it's in those very moments that your next step becomes most important. Falling is part of the journey. What matters is not the fall. It's what you do afterward. We are often raised in a culture that teaches us to fear failure, to avoid mistakes, and to always aim for perfection. But real life doesn't work that way. Every human being, no matter how successful, has fallen at some point. The people you admire the most have felt broken, disappointed, and hopeless at times. But what sets them apart is that they didn't stay down. They got up even if they had to crawl. They continued even if they had no strength. That is the real definition of perseverance. When you fall, it's easy to feel ashamed. You might compare yourself to others and wonder why they seem to be doing better. You might think you're not good enough, not strong enough, not the But falling doesn't mean failure. It means you tried. It means you stepped out of your comfort zone. It means you were willing to risk something for the chance of something better. That's not weakness. That's bravery. Falling teaches you what comfort cannot. It teaches you humility, patience, and resilience. It forces you to pause and reflect. Sometimes the fall itself becomes your greatest teacher. It shows you where you went wrong, what you need to change, and who really stands by you. Often, when we're riding high in life, we don't take the time to appreciate the basics. But when we fall, we learn to value the small wins, the kind words, the simple moments of peace. That perspective shift is powerful and can only come from experience. Think about a baby learning to walk. The child falls again and again, but never once thinks, maybe walking isn't for me. They fall, they cry, they get up and try again without shame or self-judgment. Somewhere along the way, as we grow older, we begin to fear falling. We attach our self-worth to success. And we believe that making a mistake means we are not enough, but if we could return to that childlike determination, we'd understand that falling is just part of learning. There are times when life will knock you down so hard that getting up feels impossible. You'll feel tired, not just physically, but emotionally. You may lose motivation, passion, or belief in yourself. That's okay. Rest if you need to. Cry if you must. But don't quit. Don't give up. You don't have to make a giant comeback overnight. Sometimes just choosing to keep going, even slowly, is a victory in itself. Healing and progress are not always loud or visible. Sometimes they are quiet, slow, and deeply personal. The road to success, peace, or self-discovery is filled with ups and downs. There will be detours, delays, and disappointments. But each fall you survive builds your strength. Each time you get back up, you grow in confidence. Even if you fall 100 times, that one extra time you rise could change everything. When you keep going despite the falls, you begin to develop a mindset that nothing can destroy. You stop fearing setbacks. You start seeing them as steps. And that mindset, the choice to not give up, is what separates those who reach their goals from those who never start again. When life breaks you, it also opens your heart to empathy. There is something profoundly transformative about pain, not just in how it changes you, but in how it deepens your ability to connect with others. When you have gone through suffering, when you have cried silently at night or carried burdens no one else could see, you begin to understand people on a different level. You stop judging their tears. You stop questioning their silence. Instead, you start listening with your heart. Empathy is the ability to feel what others feel. But true empathy doesn't come from reading books or hearing stories. It comes from living through the emotions yourself. When life breaks you and you feel alone, rejected, or hopeless, you gain a new awareness of the inner world of others. You realize that pain isn't always visible. You learn that behind every smile, there may be a wound. Behind every strong face, there might be a silent battle. This understanding creates compassion, not just for people you know, but for strangers, for the world. Many people walk through life with hardened hearts because they've never been cracked open. They lack patience or kindness because they've never had to beg for it. But when you've been broken, you remember how much even one gentle word can mean. You remember what it feels like to wish someone would simply understand, even if they can't fix things. And so you start becoming that person for others, the one who doesn't fix but listens, the one who doesn't judge but simply says, I see you and I care. Life has a strange way of teaching us what matters. When you're at your lowest, material things don't matter. Appearances don't matter. What matters is connection, someone checking in on you, someone offering kindness with no agenda. And when you come out of that season of brokenness, you often find yourself becoming that kind of person. Your heart grows softer, not weaker. Softer in the sense that it becomes more open. Open to helping, open to helping, open to understanding, open to love. Empathy born from pain is one of the most powerful forces in the world. It creates deeper relationships. It creates communities that heal instead of harm. It helps people feel safe enough to be real. When you tell someone, I've been through something similar, you give them permission to open up. You create a bond that's based not on appearances or achievements, but on shared humanity. This kind of connection is rare, and it's sacred. Think of how the world would change if more people led with empathy. If instead of asking, what's wrong with them, we asked, what might they be going through? That shift in thinking doesn't come easily. It comes from having experienced the kind of pain that forces you to look deeper. It comes from being on your knees and realizing that you never want to be the reason someone else feels smaller. When life breaks you, your emotions become more tender. You start noticing things you used to overlook. The quiet sadness in someone's eyes, the way their voice cracks when they say, I'm fine. You begin to speak more carefully, knowing words can either heal or hurt. You start to act with more kindness, not because you expect anything back, but because you know how much it matters. That kind of empathy can't be taught. It must be felt. This transformation is not instant. Often it takes time to go from being broken to being open-hearted. At first you may feel guarded, angry, or numb, but over time as healing begins, something shifts. You begin to see your pain not just as something that happened to you, but as something that awakened you. It gave you eyes that see deeper, ears that listen longer, and a heart that understands more fully. That is the beauty hidden inside the breaking, the birth of empathy. So if life has broken you, remember this. It hasn't ended you. The cracks you carry are not signs of defeat, but of survival. Survival. Let them remind you that even in the darkest moments, your light still flickered, and that alone is a victory. You are not weak for breaking. You are human. And you are still here, still breathing, still becoming. Keep rising, keep healing, keep walking, even if it's with trembling steps. Because one day, your story will be someone else's hope. Thank you for listening. If this touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more real, powerful stories that remind you you're not alone. And always remember, your scars are proof that you were stronger than whatever tried to break you. Stay strong, stay true, and I'll see you in the next video.